I started the day from my campsite in Stadt Wehlen and walked along the river to Ratten. I had agreed to meet Fabian here, but left early to enjoy Basty Bridge at sunrise. I hoped this would mean less people, but there were some who had driven up to the car park 5 minutes from the bridge with the same idea. Eating my porridge with a view like this was surreal, but worth the early morning alarm call. Gonna eat my breakfast and wait for Fabian to wake up. Good morning from the MALERWEG day 2. We are going to Anglesey and Rathwald. I don't know where Fabian is. I think he hasn't seen my messages. I think he's asleep. So I'm gonna walk a bit and just let him know I can wait for him at lunch or meet him at Hohnstein this afternoon. I ended up having to run back into Ratten for the toilet and happened to spot Fabian on the way. Mid-peanut butter, Fabian revealed to me he planned to walk 2 sections that day and would not be stopping in Hohnstein. I had been looking forward to seeing the town and had not counted on a long walk that day. A little unease brewed in me and a sinking feeling of indecision. As we neared the town, I felt pressured to make a decision concerning my own plans. The narrow ladders within the cave meant we waited for a good few minutes before the walkway was clear. There was no room for two-way traffic. Oh, it is steep. Yep. Wow, yeah, I would never fit through here. Now I know why they're breathing so hard. Yeah. Groups of elderly hikers had steadily made their way up the staircase, gasping for air as they rounded the corner, and begged a moment's rest when they saw us. So Fabian and I just parted ways. He wanted to do the rest of the walk and I was originally gonna stop in Hohnstein and try and wild camp, but if I'm honest, Germans terrify me, and as much as I feel like I'm letting myself down by not wild camping and pushing myself, it's not worth a fine, and it's not worth my mental health, because I honestly feel like I could have a panic attack, and the only reason I'm not having one is because I know that I can't help myself if I have one, and then it really will be bad. So I'm just going to walk to the viewpoint in Hohnstein, see that, because I want to see it, so that's helping me. Then I'm going to do the rest of the walk as well, because it's not midday yet, so I've got time. And I'll get back to you. I'm a bit confused about where the view of the castle and the houses is. But it's still pretty. I've decided I can do this without Fabian, and I'm gonna make it work and not have a panic attack. So let's go. Not having planned to walk the extra 14 kilometers to the end of stage 3 that day, I rushed through the forest below Hohnstein. I was critically aware of how much daylight I had left before I found my campsite. Just as I had relaxed into walking alone, I came to a cafe in the woods and found Fabian enjoying a beer and reading in the sun. I had caught him up and even overtook him after a quick break. I've got my Magnum. I'm happy now. This is supposed to be the steepest part of the second half of this walk, and I think this is going to be mirrored on the other side. Oh, the elevation I just lost, I now have to make up for on this road. And I've crouched down, and I don't know if I can get up. It would be nice to have a bike right now. I'm starting to have fantasies about ice cold plunge pools, Arctic swimming, gel face sheet masks. It's hot. I'm hot. I'm exhausted. My knees have started to shake when I stand still. Oh, I cannot wait to do some yoga at the campsite tonight. He soon caught me up again, his day pack a lot lighter than my backpack, and we walked together once more. The trail flowed downhill through the woods to the small town of Kohlmüller, where once again we parted ways, this time with a lighter feeling on my part. I ended up overtaking Fabian, and he caught up with me. Now he's waiting for the train, and I'm gonna walk down the train line to the last the last town of the stage, and then I'm gonna go to a campsite that I found that doesn't have 1-star reviews like the one I thought I was gonna go to. Ironically enough, the second half of the walk, there was actually quite a few places that you could wild camp. There's been quite a few bridges you could go under, and quiet fields, and it's by a stream, which is really nice, and I think I would feel a lot safer not camping in the forest. I don't know why, I just would feel safer if I could see if something was coming, I think. But this last half an hour has been really nice, and I've gone through 2 villages that looked quite small and sleepy, and like they wouldn't notice a wild camper. It's starting to turn to early evening now. I just passed someone in the forest who looked like they were waiting to wild camp. They just looked very relaxed. I'm envious of their certainty. I am looking forward to stopping today. My dream is finally coming true. So I got to the campsite in the end. I ended up walking for 12 hours today. My shoulders really hurt. I've got a massive knot the size of a watermelon in the back of my shoulder. But the worst thing was my mental health today. I felt like I had a series of little panic attacks. I really wanted to wild camp, but I didn't feel that I could. I'm scared of getting a fine because I don't have much money, and what money I do have I'm saving. And German officials scare me as well, but I was really sad as well because I was disappointed in myself because this was something I really wanted to do, was to start wild camping. But I've realised that there's something about the forest that makes me more scared, whereas in a field like where I am now, I feel a lot calmer and I don't feel so threatened. So I think I've learnt something about myself today. I've learnt a lot of things about myself today, because also when Fabian went his way and I went mine, I walked by myself, and when I started I thought that's what I wanted, and then when I walked with Fabian I was scared to walk alone, and I was. For the first hour after he'd gone I felt really panicky. I don't know why, because this is something I really want. But after an hour it felt better. I felt better, and I'm actually looking forward to walking on my own now. But I have just found out that the next stretch, which I had promised myself I'd wild camp in Boofen in, might not be possible. I just spoke to some climbers who are camped next to me, and they said that all the Boofen are verboten this year because of the fires and because of how warm it has been. So I'm not even really meant to camp in them because I'm not a climber, so it's doubly verboten. And the idea of being in a cave, which I'm scared of, in the forest, which scares me at night, when I know that it's forbidden by the German authorities, doesn't sound like a plan for a good night's sleep. So I'm going to try and find another alternative again. Nothing about this walk is going quite how I thought it would. But I feel empowered after today because I recovered from my panic attack, and I did 2 stages in one day, and I've proved myself that I am physically capable of it. So now I'm just going to relax and worry about tomorrow, or not worry about tomorrow. See how it goes.